In this video, I'm going to show you how to sew a tie-back dress for a child from start to finish. This style is comfortable, adjustable, and perfect for growing kids. I will explain each step clearly, from joining the pieces to sewing the tie back neatly. Please watch closely and feel free to leave your questions in the comment section. My name is Mitchell. Welcome to Mitchell Fashion Academy. This is the shoulder line. This is the bust line, the waistline, and the allowance. On the shoulder line, mark the shoulder measurement, which is 6 inches plus half-inch sewing allowance. The armhole line is 5.5 inches, which is 1 inch above the bust line. The neck width is 4 inches, and on this side is 2.5 inches. It's going to be a sweetheart neckline. Then make the curve like this. There won't be need for shoulder slants for this because it's a sweetheart neckline. On the bust line, mark the bust circumference divided by 4. On the waistline, you mark the waist circumference divided by 4. Use a ruler to connect the points. I'm adding 1.5 inches allowance. I'll trim the excess when I'm done sewing. Next, you curve the armhole. If you noticed, I didn't add sewing allowance to the neckline because the allowance is already added to the 4 inches neck depth. That means by the time I'm done sewing, the neck depth will be 4.5 inches instead of the 4 inches. Put your fabric on fold, place the bodice on top like this and cut the facing. This is the front bodice with the facing. Moving on to the back, I'll draft the back on a pattern paper because it's a tie back. This is the shoulder line. This is the armhole line, the bust line, and the waist line. This is the armhole curve. On this waistline, on this part, this is the middle of the bag. Come up by 2 inches and connect it to the end like this. But before you do that, you measure the sewing allowance, which is 1.5 inches. The line will start from the middle of the back and stop before the sewing allowance. The neck depth for the back is 6.5 inches. On this part, I'm measuring the 1.5 inches allowance, sewing allowance, and I'm going to connect it to that 6.5 inches neck depth like this. I'm going to go ahead now and cut the pattern paper. When I'm cutting the fabric, I'll add sewing allowance to the top. I've already added 1.5 to the sides and I'll also add to the bottom. Then this part, I will extend it. I will make it long enough to be tied. This is how you're going to cut the back. Put your fabric on fold, place the pattern paper and cut it like this. You'd add half-inch sewing allowance to the top and the bottom. 1.5 inches allowance has already been added to the side. And then on this side, you will make it long enough to be tied at the back. I'm sewing this for a little girl, so I used about 20 to 25 inches. After that, you go ahead and cut it. You cut double of this. Of course, your fabric is on fold, so you cut for both sides of the back. After doing the cutting, you sew the top, you sew the bottom. This is the strap. This is the back. This is where we are going to insert the strap. This is the pattern paper. You place it. This is the top part. Remember, half inch was added to the shoulder measurement. You mark that half inch. Then from that half inch, mark 2 inches. The strap will be placed on that 2 inches. You put the strap inside like this. The sewn part should face the armhole. You insert it like this. Then you sew. You place it on that 2 inches measurement and sew. You sew the other side too, then you turn it inside out and iron. This is how you insert the front strap. When you sew this armhole and also sew the top with half inch. Measure the half inch we added to the shoulder measurements. After that, you insert the strap like this. You place it inside. Make sure the sewn part is facing the armhole. Pin it down and sew with half inch. The next thing I'm going to do is to sew the sides. But before then, I'm making sure that the half length measurement is accurate. Moving on to the skirt part, the skirt is gathered. The waist measurement you're working with, you multiply it by 2 or 3 depending on how full you want the skirt to be. You attach it to the bodies. To determine the length of the skirt, you subtract the length of the bodies from the length of the gown. For instance, if the length of the gown is 30 inches and the length of the bodies is 10 inches, so 30 minus 10 is 20 inches. That means the length of the skirt will be 20 inches. Then if you want to add a different color to the hemline, just like I did, you can decide to use 5 inches from that and you will subtract it from that 20 inches skirt length. So that leaves you with 15 inches. Another thing I did was to add elastic to the back waistline. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Leave your questions in the comment section. I'll be happy to help. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and I hope to see you in my next one. Have a good one. Bye.